Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on The Truman Show. Now, The Truman Show is meant to be a 1998 psychological science fiction comedy drama film that was directed by Peter Weir that was meant to feature Jim Carrey as the main character Truman. And I would say the point of The Truman Show is kind of about realizing the true meaning of your life and how sometimes not everything in your life is always going to be seen what it's supposed to be. And the premise of the film is meant to follow Truman Burbank, who is kind of meant to be this well-liked, well-accepted, and kind of lovable but generous guy. We see how that he kind of starts to see signs that his life isn't what it seems to be. How a piece of filming equipment falls down from the sky. He sees how the rain seems to move with him, and so on. And this is where you can tell Truman slowly realizes that his life isn't what it seems to be. And this is also where we do see how there's hints and clues to what his purpose is. We do see how his love interest Sylvia did try to warn him, only to be taken away by someone in a car. And we also do see how one of his friends, who's meant to be Lewis, does show signs of hints of regret in his actions. And of course, we later do learn that his life is meant to be a reality show that is done by the creator of the Truman Show, Christoph. Now, I would say Christoph is sort of a bad guy, but I think he's a bad guy who has hints of regrets in his actions. Like, when Sylvia does ask him does he ever regret what he did, you can tell he tries to keep calm about it, but I think does show hints that he is regretful, but wants to believe he's doing the right things. And it's heavily implied, at least to me, that Christoph is the father of Truman, and it's heavily implied that he created the Truman Show to give his son a safe, alternative life, away from the sort of realities of life. And we do kind of see how Truman slowly sees pieces that his life isn't what it seems to be. And I would say the point of the Truman Show has a message or moral and a bit of a cautionary tale that sometimes the things in your life might not always seem what they're supposed to be, and sometimes realizing the reality of things is showing you taking the next step. And I think the point of Truman is meant to see things a bit like a little kid, but later on does try to man up and go against the residents of the town. And I think for the most part the pacing feels a little quick, but at the same time feels a little bit like it's trying to pace itself carefully. And you can kind of tell that some of the cast members in the show do show signs of regret, or some of them don't really care at all. And I think when you do kind of have the only two that seem to be nicer to him, Lewis as well as Sylvia, you can tell Lewis does show signs of hints of regret in his actions, and you can tell Sylvia does voice her disapproval for what Christoph has done. And like I said, I wouldn't call Christoph a complete bad guy. I think he wants to believe what he does is for the right reasons, but has no concern for his actions. But there are signs that he does regret his actions, but not fully. And like I said, it's heavily implied that he is the actual father of Truman, who wants to give his son a better life. I think The Truman Show is alright on its own, but I think it not getting a sequel or anything bigger made perfect sense. It was more about realizing your own place in life and moving back from the things that hold you down. So I think this film definitely deserves a thumbs in the middle. It's alright, not good, but it's still an enjoyable film. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.